What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about Pascal Siakam. We saw that play last night, and a lot of fans were questioning Pascal Siakam again. It's something he's been getting criticized for the entire season. So for this video, I'm actually just going to do a special video today of where I quickly talk about yesterday and whether or not the criticism he has received is fair. And then I'm also going to jump into some numbers. I'm going to jump into some stats here about Pascal Siakam and show you his statistics during crunch time. So before I get into the details of the video, if you want to give this video a thumbs up, it greatly helps get to other Raptors fans across YouTube. And if you could hit that subscribe button as well, it really helps this channel grow. With that being said, let's get right into it. So we saw that play by Pascal Siakam. Kawhi Leonard gets double teamed. Pascal gets that very nice steal. And then you see Khem Birch on his right-hand side running up ahead of everyone. And for whatever reason, Pascal decided it's a good idea not to pass it to him. I don't know if he was unsure of his passing skills or maybe that, you know what, Khem Birch might get the ball stolen from him. But it was a questionable call. And then after he decided not to pass to him, he runs down the floor and he runs into Paul George. And now that was a really close play. Nick Nurse actually ended up challenging that play. So it could have gone either way. Unfortunately, it didn't. It was overruled. The ball got turned over, and a lot of fans were livid with Pascal Siakam. And this is nothing new. A lot of fans have been questioning Pascal Siakam the entire season about how he plays in the crunch time, the last few minutes of the game, and he just does not have the clutching. So do I think that criticism is fair? Yes, but I think there's a fine line of where you criticize a player and also where I think you just start to hate a player and say, why did we get this guy? Because let's be honest, guys, he does need a little bit of work. I've defended Pascal in the past, but there's no denying the fact that Pascal definitely does need to improve on his decision making, also his shot selection as well in the last few minutes of the game. We saw that yesterday where he was unsure, and if I'm being honest, it almost looked like he was about to double dribble again, which was, fans would have been gone absolutely crazy if he did that. But I don't think that loss could entirely be blamed on him. Fred VanVleet took some bad shots as well. But you know what? Let's be honest. If it was not for those two players, we wouldn't be in this game. Outside of Jalen Harris, I don't think any other player was in the double digit scoring wise. So we need other guys to step up. I understand we have injuries, but other guys need to step up, score the ball a little bit more. Fred VanVleet took some questionable shots as well. I think Pascal Siakam just gets a lot of hate because of the money he's making. Everyone expects him to be that number one option. But I think a lot of people underestimate the toughest part about basketball, which is not your basketball skills. It's the mental aspect of the game, especially when it comes to closing time. We see that with the greatest of players. We see that with LeBron James, and I'm not comparing Pascal to LeBron, but we've seen it with a lot of great players where they struggle in the final few minutes of the game. I think that takes a real toll. We know Pascal's definitely been in his own head after he's had so many shots rimmed out. We saw that double dribble against the New York Knicks. So I think that's definitely one area he needs to improve on, his mental aspect, his decision making, and also his shot selection as well. But I wanna put that aside. I'm gonna be jumping into the numbers here in just a sec. But I think he definitely needs to improve in that aspect. I mean, we saw that last night. He kind of was unsure, and then he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna run into the paint, and he ran into Paul George. And there's a few other Clippers players as well. I mean, let's be honest. It was a bad play. He could have probably passed it off to someone else, but you know what? It happens. And let's give credit to Pascal Siakam. I mean, the guy had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He also had 3 steals. And you know what? That's against one of the toughest defensive teams in the league. The Clippers are a top 5 defensive team. So, I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we lost. It's just been that kind of season. But I want to jump into the statistics here. So let's have a look at Pascal Siakam's numbers late in the fourth quarter and see how he performs here. For these stats here, I want you to focus your attention on the right-hand column where it says effective field goal percentage. Now you see garbage time, normal time, and then where it says clutch time, those are the shots that have an elevated impact on win probability, so the last few minutes of the game. And where it says clutch squared or clutch 2 are potential buzzer beaters or buzzer beaters. So I'm going to take a look at Pascal's numbers. Garbage time, there's not much pressure. His field goal percentage is really good, 55.2%. Normal field goal is still pretty decent, 49.8%. But as you notice, as we go towards the clutch, his numbers drop. Clutch time, 40.3% still isn't all that bad. It isn't the greatest either, though. But when it comes to taking the last shot of the game, Pascal Siakam, 16.7% is not a good look. Pascal's getting a lot of money to be our number one option, and he's actually worse than every player who's taking the last shot off the game this season. So that's not a good look on Pascal Siakam. 16.7% is not acceptable for someone who's getting that paid, who's getting paid so much money. He's supposed to be a number one option, but again, these are just stats for this season. So I wanted to compare stats from this season to Pascal Siakam in that championship run, and specifically Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard was really clutch in that season with us, and also because it kind of compares Pascal's numbers as to how he was as a number one option and how he was as a number two option. So taking a look at the next screen here, these are the stats from the championship run season. You see Kawhi Leonard there. His normal field goal percentage was really nice, 55.9%. Even his clutch, 56.7%, is really nice. And when it came to taking the last few shots of the game, 41.7% is really great. You saw those stats for Pascal Siakam there. And having a look at Pascal Siakam's number here, you see number 5 there. When you go down, his clutch was actually really good, 55.4%. And even when it came to taking the last shot of the game, now maybe those numbers are a little bit inflated because he wasn't taking the last shot of the game with Kawhi Leonard here, even with Kyle Lowry was taking those last shot. It wasn't necessarily Pascal, but because he was still coming onto that scene in that season, he kind of just exploded. So he wasn't expected to get the attention from the defense, but also because he wasn't expected to take the last shot of the game. So you see his percentages there. Those are crazy numbers compared to this season, which really makes you question as to if Pascal can eventually or hopefully become a number one option. We know a lot of the defenses was focused on Kawhi Leonard, was focused on other players as well. And Pascal Siakam got more opportunities in that sense because he was a number 2, number 3 option, and the defense weren't really focused on him. They're more focused on shutting Kawhi Leonard down. So he was great in that season as a number 2, number 3 option, but when it comes to we saw this season, it just was not great numbers at all. Now I'm going to go over to more numbers here because I feel like these numbers here are a little bit more easier to read and less complicated. So these are our numbers in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and these are points by our players. So you see Pascal Siakam is way down there on number 7 column. He's averaging 1.1 point. I can't even say points because point. He's averaging a point a game in the last 5 minutes of the game. That is not a great look. As I've mentioned, I still think he can improve. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to throw Pascal under the bus here, but stats clearly prove he needs to work on that area of the game. Whatever it may be, mental aspect of his game, or if he just makes his decision making or his shot selection, but he needs to be better. 1.1 point from your best player, that's supposed to be your best player, last 5 minutes of the game is not acceptable. And that's actually why we struggle to score points when it comes to late game situations. Now, Kyle Lowry is averaging 2 points in the last 5 minutes of the game. But even having a look at this screen here, our field goal percentage in the last 5 minutes of the game, you look at Pascal Siakam, that's really bad. He's 11th in our team with a 28% field goal percentage in the last 5 minutes of the game, which is, let's be honest, that's terrible. That's something you'd expect from a bench player or someone as, maybe a 4th or 5th option in the starting lineup. That's not a good look on Pascal Siakam. I mean, hell, you see guys like DeAndre Bembry, who's not a shooter, averaging 66.7%. Hell, even Stanley Johnson, 50%. And Pascal's way down there. Now, I understand a lot of defense is focused on him. He gets a lot of attention, so I understand why he struggled. But still, that's a very low field goal percentage for someone that's supposed to be your number 1 option. He does need to improve on that, so I've shown you the stats here, guys. I've talked about Pascal Siakam, and this does not mean I'm hateful towards Pascal Siakam, but I think we're being in denial at this point if we're saying Pascal is a great player in the clutch. He definitely does need a lot of work. Let's not kid ourselves. He's a great player overall. I still love Pascal Siakam, always will, but that's one area of his game he really needs to work in. So before I end the video off, I do want to hear your thoughts below in that comment section below. So let me know in that comment section below Are you surprised by these numbers? Are you not surprised? Were you expecting this? I mean, I know he's not clutch, but I was not expecting some of these numbers. These are just mind blowing how bad he is in the clutch time. So let me know in that comment section below. And if you're still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.